over here. Come on, let's start it.
So what brings you to the POST.SEED conference today?
Well, I was one of the speakers a little while ago.
What I want to explain is this. POST.SEED looks like a stage. It's not. It's actually a very clever strategy.
So the industry is getting a bit barbell shaped. We have a lot of money for established companies and a lot of money for new ideas. And this conference specifically was saying, look, there's a lot of answers for companies in that spot.
We're really talking about what happens in the next seed round, the post-seed.
Welcome to the inaugural POST.SEED conference.
We're going to be hearing from Keith Rabois from Khosla. We'll be hearing from Chris Dixon from Andreessen Horowitz. We'll have Naval Ravikant from AngelList.
We're going to have a bunch of people who are across the board, guys from big funds, guys from small funds, and we're going to talk a little bit about what it's like to get to the true Series A.
So we invest everywhere from like seed to Series B in the traditional vocabulary. I have made a couple investments that are later stage, but that's very, very rare. We want to be doing what used to be called venture capital, not growth capital.
What I do think is happening is the market is correcting itself, and I believe the sponsors of this conference, and there's a bunch of other funds which are now being started to focus just on that stage.
I mean, I think we just have such an unfair advantage living here. We're living so far in the future that you can kind of see how the rest of the world is going to work.
You wouldn't really hold it against a company if they had 10 investors or 20 investors in their seed round. You wouldn't look at it and say, oh,
I'd hold it a little bit against them.
I don't see what is so wrong with getting a $100,000 check. I mean, you write $250,000 checks.
Well, I don't think there's anything morally wrong with it, and I think people have a right to invest their money. They have a right to invest their money badly. I think people I certainly don't think that it should be outlawed or anything like that.
I appreciate your time. We're going to break early and go drink outside.
Enjoy your wine from Bread and Butter. It's a great conference for founders to learn more about what's happening, in the seed to post-seed time frame, what to look for, how the VCs are thinking.
But I think just getting out there, networking, going to as many events like this as possible. You're going to meet a lot of interesting people. You're going to make great connections.
Absolutely. Great group of people, a really nice, healthy mix of venture capitalists and startup founders. It's the founders that we're here to meet.
One investor said on stage, it's never been easier to become a VC.
Never been easier to become a VC, never harder to stay one.
I asked Peter Thiel on stage, is it harder to be an investor these days versus 10 years ago? And he did say it's a little bit more challenging, and that's because there are just a lot more startups out there. It's really hard to filter.
There are more investors competing to invest in these opportunities, and there's a sense in which the valuations often seem quite a bit higher.
It's really great to get some statistics and metrics around what kind of rounds people are raising.
So we're seeing those rounds anywhere between $2 and $3 million.
How investors are viewing the sort of increased valuations.
The pre-money valuations are on the very high, probably the highest we've maybe ever seen.
I think data-wise it's been tremendous.